You ever think about what a thought is? No, not a dot, but a thought. Think about it. Weed. Mary Jane wouldn't be who she is unless she was on fire. You could say she's smoking hot. Anyways, I'm very happy to say that on some of these groups, as I said, the professors or the instructors get mad at people and say, God has nothing to do with this. Well, creation has everything to do with evolution, and evolution has everything to do with creation. Same thing with, natural destruction. That's evolution as well. What goes up comes down in evolution, but not always in society, not always in currency, not always in, oppressed, stuff like that. So that's physics, and pretty much it goes downhill, downhill, downhill. I am the one professor who's not, certified or went through licenses or college or whatever to say I'm a professor, but literally, I fixed and corrected that Newton's law. I helped out to understand laws of relativeness, Einstein, and that happens to be a 3-course curriculum because you have mind, body, and spirit. The Einstein theory, E equals MC squared, I mean, that has to be doubled, for yet you wouldn't have 2 pieces of pie that connect to be a cranium. And I pretty much got down on every single theory that there is. You can't manipulate something that's not manipulatable but is explainable. But also, what I want to touch down on, so on my Facebook, I have a Victorio C. Azocad. That's my original name. Then I have the other Facebook, which is the same account, but somehow with them seeing I had so many issues with, half of the Facebook trying to take me down, that the other half of Facebook, whoever's working in there that's really nice, gave me an alternative Facebook. So therefore I have 2 accounts on the same Gmail. Does that make sense? Yeah, I never seen that before, but I'm very blessed because it seems like crazy bullshit whenever someone's like, yeah, right, blah, 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 but there's always 7 angels, 7 demons, and you want to wipe out the 7 demons, and you want grace over dominion. You want to fix that. That is the whole understanding with biblical, Greek, Latin, and everything that transpired from there. When you think about it, fire, water, air, earth, then you start to think about what's above that as far as being like built later, coming after. I mean, you have the base platform, you have the main one that's out of that 4, it's the fire, and that's what started it all. And so fire grows, fire burns, but without fire, that whole bitch comes rolling down. You know what I mean? Like if it was on fire. So that's actually a really cool thought to think about that. You don't build a house from the concrete and the dirt foundation and the mixed particles in the dirt to make sure that it doesn't sink in or anything like that. It's kind of like a concrete type of dirt, and then they add the concrete in those spots, build that whole little foundation, and then your house stands up on top. So even though the ground is breathing, it's not really breathing because of how the ground was mixed with different dirt and concrete type of minerals. So that's why when you see people trying to get things to put on top, and like they're going to start building, but first they have to do the digging and all that, the layout, you have to understand that has to do with alchemy and witchcraft, even though it looks like it's just like, I'm a normal dude, I'm doing science. Well, your brain and intellect is what's making you that much witchy because of how much magic, how much production you're able to put right there. Instead of thousands of years of making something hard and solid, you end up just doing it instantly with everything that you mixed. The compost, that's for plants, but the compounds. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you build a house, you boom, 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 boom. And, as fire being the concrete and the foundation in the dirt, with that whole house built, it's like if you were to light it on fire, that's the explanation of seeing the element chart and taking away fire. Like, so that one's at the bottom as far as building it. That's a trip, 1 to 10 and 10 to 9 are both like 1 and 10, and 10 and 1. And fire being on top, fire being on below. What's above is below. What's below is above. So above, so below. And that's why that's so powerful to understand that the element chart might need to be a little bit revised. There's so much in history that helped it to be put in the table where it's at. But you also need to always remember that fire is the main element that's from beginning to end. So you need to somehow have two of those on the element chart separated from beginning to end. But yeah, then you have the things like electricity. Then you have things like dreams or whatever. I mean, that all comes from spirit, and spirit is all four of those first elements. And with thought comes like, you don't just get thought like without anything. I mean, what creates fire? Friction. So like a little bit of heat, a little bit of vibration, a little bit of wind, that would create, everything's like a circle of life. So when you look at it like that, something like, he's the god of dreams, he's the god of messenger, that's just talking about speed. That's just talking about wind blowing. That's just talking about, water acting up. All of these mythology Greek gods, I really feel like originally they were possibly names of people and they were scientists. And they came to the table. Either it was like a scientist or it was like a oracle. And, some of them really loved oracles and wanted oracles. And then, next this woman who was probably a scientist or, a scientist or a pharaoh or a king or emperor's wife got greedy, wanted to do that guy that's a soldier. And next a scientist chick, she, went to town on this chick. This chick woke up either always like on drugs and saw snakes in her head, or the real old school days of magic being able to show itself is actually like where it was there and now we don't really see it. It's more like a phantom now, but it could still like creep up on us and bug us. I don't think anybody's ever been like, oh, I saw Medusa, or Medusa's freaking me out. Like, I could have sworn I saw a shadow, and I saw like the shadow of snake heads in their head. You don't hear anybody talking about any of those gods. You don't hear about them talking about Anubis or Osiris, who was actually Osiris. You don't hear them talking about anybody that's Egyptian. But the funniest thing about my Facebook, the Victorio C. Asokad, and also the Victor Osborne, I haven't gone on there because you have to go on there every like 2-3 weeks just to say hi. Hopefully people are enjoying my Facebook, but I don't want any problems where they take off all of my journalism. Last time somebody was talking crap to me, I talked crap back on comments, and then they try to say I was bullying. That type of stuff right there is quick to notify me that my Facebook is at risk because of how much true stuff I have on there. And when you look at the Victorio C. Asokad Facebook, you'll notice that I'm about to post a post that somebody else posted. It's so amazing how he asked about all these different gods from different cultures. And you look at the pictures he has, they're all looking like comic book magazine type, where it shows all of them like a certain amount on each picture, and it's hilarious. They have the Hindi, they have the Mayan, they have the Inca, they have the African, they have the Greek, they have the Hindu. They have every single little poster right there on his post. Yes, I can't believe it. It looks like X-Men / freaking Marvel's Avengers / freaking Harry Potter / freaking Dragon Ball Z / freaking DC Universe. I am just cracking up because it wasn't till like 4 or 5 months ago that I really looked at everything. Like, why does every single god kind of remind you of like a video game module of a character? You know, when you're creating a character on WWE or WCW versus NWO, old school. And when I do this does not mean the horns, the devil. It means rock out, because we were taught wrong. So therefore, us being taught wrong, with that spiritual awakeness and awareness, we no longer are throwing up a double sign with the two fingers going, we are now throwing up a sign that's like rock out, because we known how badass rock was, but we're not representing any devil. You see, that's the thing also I wanted to hit off on. I mean, I switch off from story to story, but I want you enlightened. I want you to stay interested, and I want you to keep asking and thinking. I don't want you to ever shut down and think, oh, I know it all. You know, the problem with people when they say they know it all is they stopped learning. When you stop learning, you start getting old. When you start getting old, you start having a little baby mind where you don't really know what you're doing, you know? We know pregnant women, they got baby brains, you know? They get baby brains. It's a little bit of the processing of the mind to re-jog and work itself out to understand where it's at. Mind and place, location, all of that, you know, who you are. So men also get that as far as being stubborn and cocky, acting like, oh, I know everything already. No, you don't. You learned what they taught you, and what they taught you was to keep working and keep your mouth shut, so they make money and you barely make enough and you're struggling. That's the key. That's the secret. I mean, everybody knows business. Everybody knows that when you put your name and everyone else's name as investors and in a paper that's called the corporation, you know that everyone gets their investment entitlement. You know, that every time that they make money, everything goes and it gets sorted out and sent. But when it comes to liability, nobody's at fault. I mean, that is what's scary and risky, as far as nobody ever being at fault. Oh yeah, we've worked for this company so long and we stacked up this money for the liability insurance payments, and the insurance will pay for it. But how many insurance companies have gone bankrupt? See, that's the part about this medical accounting that all of us need to wake up also. And I jumped on a couple different subjects. So, you know, it's really good that if I try to get these videos out, and in time, if we make it in time, will everybody come responding questions? Or are all my videos that I've made, which are very helpful, going to keep stacking up with only like 33 views, 13 views, 1 like, no likes? I mean, I've made these videos for a bit, and the last 5 months, I would say they're the best ones compared to me growing up. But me growing up, the videos I made then was also of a young man where I was, you know, mostly talking smart, very little talking out of my butt. So it's all good enlightenment and, you know, fulfillment and curing, as far as learning without making the mistakes yourself. You know, if you're observant, if you're cautious, if you're smart, if you're alert, you could learn off of somebody else explaining to you all of this that has happened to myself, to others, to how the system, economy is. Everybody's hurting, and you don't need to be somebody that's hurting as well. You need to keep your eyes open, ears alert, nose ready to sniff out any BS. Even if you had to switch to taste buds. All right, there's no bullshit around here. I don't taste nothing in the air. You know, sense of feeling. Whether it's your mind that's actually doing all the work, or whether it's you not knowing that and you're just putting your hand out and thinking that your hand is doing all the work, when really, you know, mind over matter. It's your mind. It's kind of trying to use your hand with all the veins, arteries, everything. It's kind of trying to get a pulse in the air as far as feel something out, you know? So, mind over matter, it's all about spirit that gave us this thing to think and do on our own. And then the body's supposed to do the same exact as the mind tells it. But the mind's always supposed to be on a straight path, never wobbly messing up. Because once you mess up and you commit the ultimate crime, murder or anything, there ain't really any forgiveness. It's just now you got to pay the toll. And some of those tolls are really too crazy as far as some people that hasn't even done those type of crimes. But a lot of bad places or situations can make you go do what they want you to do. You know, I'm trying to make sure I never get locked up, because even if I get locked up for 3 days, 3 months, you never know if I'm ever going to come back out, because of how bad something can become inside. Were my brothers originally mad at me as far as any different color, race, ethnicity, and all that? No. But if you're somebody, whether you're making a broadcast or you just were working your whole life and your name was picked, you know, you got certain type of societies that can, and next you know, you're like the main dude getting hit. And so, you know, all of these people that have been locked up just for a month or two, 6 months, 2 years, next you know, they're away for life, because the crimes they committed outside of the prison were nearly not as bad as the ones they had to commit to survive inside the prison. So all of this is just very good detective work as far as looking out for everyone, you know. Am I Pac-Man? No, I'm more like Hodges, but without a badge. All right, represent, world. Just like the rainbow, we out here living colors, 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 colors. You don't know me, fool, but you should know me. Cool. I don't need any assistance, but if you assist me, you know what's up. I'll say what's up to my brothers and my sisters. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, you know I deliver. We gotta work together, world. Much love.